Hey guys, I am Game Advisor and welcome back to another Icarus update video. Today we're going to be looking at the week 30 update, which is called Horde Mode number 2. Now, to be quite frank with you, this update is really not that big. It really is just adding some things to the Horde mode, so let's just jump into it, but do expect it to be kind of short this time around. Now, first things first, let's just go ahead and address the Horde mode updates. The first thing we want to take note of is that they've actually added some changes here based on player experience and feedback. I'm glad to hear they're taking that into account and listening to what the players want to have done. With that being said, what they've actually changed here is simply added some alpha wolves, some alpha cats, and some cute little bear cubs to the actual vapor condenser geysers when you're doing that little Horde mode session. If you don't know what Horde mode is, I do recommend you go ahead back to our last update video where we talk about the new Horde mode they've added to the game. The alpha wolves are exactly what you fought before. They just might have a little bit less or a little bit more health depending on what difficulty you're playing on, but if you've ever done the mission that has an alpha wolf in it where you have to defeat, it's a little boss. It's very early on the very first Icarus map. Once you do that mission, it's the same thing you fought there. The alpha cat is the one where you had to bait the little jaguar out. Same thing, it's a big black jaguar, just has a little bit more health, it hits a little bit harder. However, the cute little bear cubs, which I will admit were pretty darn cute, are basically just polar bear cubs shrunk way down, and they hit significantly less hard and have significantly less health. They were all great additions to the Horde mode, so I'm definitely glad they've put them in, as it's something that Horde mode definitely needed. Again, I do want to see more variations for different biomes. We do have different variations of like the alpha wolf. I think there's a snow biome variation of it, a carnivorous one, and then I forget what the other one is, a desert biome one. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing with slightly different skin. What I want to see is things like scorpions or maybe some worms or just something else depending on what biome you're in. Now, the next thing they say is that they've heard the feedback we've been talking about when it comes to the cost/reward payoff for this thing. At the end of the day, what this means is they've increased the reward that you get for doing this Horde mode. You'll now get up to a total of 2 times the experience points you previously got and 4 times the item reward size. This is for higher difficulties though. This means you might get up to 4 times as many exotics for those higher difficulties, maybe if you're playing on like hardcore and the highest difficulty itself. But at the end of the day, this is not going to affect everybody. It's only if you're playing on high-end difficulties that you're going to really start to notice these changes. The next thing they talk about is their upcoming dedicated servers. Now, to be quite frank with you guys, I'm not going to jump too much into this until we actually get our hands on it, simply because I don't know how much it's going to impact the game. Right now, they say their servers currently only store your account, character, and prospect data. As a result of this change, the data will be stored on a disk rather than hosted on servers, and ideally synced with the Steam cloud. This allows players to play Icarus without needing to have an active server connection or needing an internet connection of some time. That's a good thing in my opinion. However, my only concern is that if our character data is actually stored on our computers, people are going to abuse that. It has been done many times with previous games. Again, this game isn't really PvP, so it doesn't hurt other people, but nonetheless, I don't like it myself. I'm not totally against the idea of not being able to play without an internet connection. That's a good thing. So it's a give and take. We'll have to see what happens and how well they execute it to really make a decision on all these things. Otherwise, there's some more stuff about the servers, but I'm not going to jump into it until we actually get our hands on all these changes. But they do talk about the changelog. This is really just them clarifying some things that we saw last week, like the mounts that they might be adding into the game. But they're just kind of saying here, hey, look, these things might be related to the game in the DLC. They might be related to a coming patch. We just are letting you know, hey, we're working on these things. It's kind of their way of saying, hey, we're just gonna slide this across the table. Who knows? Maybe we're working on a way to ride mounts, or maybe we're working on the new swamp biome, which is mentioned in this changelog. You know, things like that. That's really all it is. They're hinting at what might come in the future for players who are dedicated enough to actually go and read the thing. Otherwise, the only thing they're trying to get across is that not everything in the changelog will be guaranteed to make it into the game. This means mounts might not make it in, the swamp biome they're working on might not make it in, or anything else you're reading down in the changelog that is related to them still working on something that is not currently in. With that being said, there's really not much else to say with this patch. I hope you guys enjoy the new Horde mode and you're able to farm all the exotics you want with it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Game Advisor, and I'll see you next time.